Welcome back to the Breakfast with Tedflix podcast. Today, we are breaking down the top 5 best moments of House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 3, The Burning Mill. I mean, is y'all for real? Coming in at our number 5 spot, to me, it's got to be the contrast of Rhaenyra's counsels from earlier in the episode compared to the end of the episode. Earlier on in the episode, the councils all urging Rhaenyra to press the advantage of what we have, and essentially they're all saying, send out the dragons. And Rhaenyra's like, we're not going to send out the dragons. Fear of using the dragons in itself can be a weapon. But then if we compare this to the Black Council scene at the end of the episode, this is when Baela reports that, oh, I saw Criston Cole and his men, and they are making moves. And all these people are like, okay, we now have confirmed movement. Before there was not movement, but now they're moving. So what are we doing? What are we cooking up? And this is when Rhaenyra finally realizes, okay, I have to meet up with Alicent because like everyone is looking at me to make an action decision. Even Rhaenys is kind of like, it's up to you. You got to figure this out on your own. And she actually lets them know this time, I've heard your arguments and I'll consider them, and then walks off. And Rhaenys is like, what, you sure about that? You sure you're going to send out the dragons? So yeah, that's coming in at our number 5 spot. It's the contrast of the councils, because at first she's like, nah, we're not sending out dragons. You guys are wilding. But then later on, she's like, okay, you know what? I know the oven's been preheating for a while. Guys, don't worry, we're cooking. But coming up next in our number 4 spot, it's got to go to the moment when Rhaenyra finally realizes, oh, it's time. It's time for a war. And that's when she faces off against Alicent in the Sept where they're praying. Rhaenyra pretty much just gives her the lowdown. She's like, Rhaenys said that there was some part of you that did not wish to go to battle, but that is when Rhaenyra starts to get to the root issue, which is, hey, why did you actually betray Viserys and go through with usurping my rightful inheritance to the throne? What, like, actually tell me why. And of course, this is when Alicent just starts yapping. There was no mistake. Your father, he changed his mind. He did. He changed his mind. And Rhaenyra's like, I'm calling Cap. Like, what did he specifically say? Did he mention my name? Like, I'm glad she finally brought up, hey, why don't you be specific? Like, did he really mention my name and said that I wasn't heir or what? Tell me the story. And I've got to give it up to Rhaenyra, Emma Darcy, just as an actress, because like you can see in her face in this moment, she's now for the first time actually considering the possibility, oh, if he did at the last minute say I was an heir, like how did that actually play out? Like walk me through how that actually went. And you can actually see she's trying to understand what Alicent is convinced that she thinks. Alicent says he was weary and he was hard to understand at times, but he did speak Aegon's name. And then she says, he says he was the prince who was promised. And then that's when it clicks. Rhaenyra's like, oh, you just said prince that was promised. You just said that, dead ass? And Alicent's like, yeah, he said prince that was promised. What do you mean? Rhaenyra's like, come on, that was an old prophecy, an old story that Viserys used to tell about Aegon the Conqueror. And she kind of realizes in this moment, oh, I'm a dumbass. It's about the Conqueror. And Rhaenyra's like, yeah, it's about the Conqueror, not about Aegon, your son. But after Alicent realizes she's done effed up, she still, in her pride, can't come to reality, can't come to the facts, which is, listen, you and your family's about to get torched if you go through with this war. Like, Rhaenyra's doing everything she can. Rhaenyra is pretty much saying, don't say I didn't warn you. Like, we can still stop this. And Alicent explains, well, my father's gone. Aegon's already pissed. Cole's on the march. And you know what Aemond is. He's out for blood. He's on the biggest dragon. So it's too late, Rhaenyra. Walks off. Does a mic drop on Rhaenyra. It's too late, Rhaenyra. Mic drop. Even though I know I'm wrong. And then this music at the end, I just gotta play. I mean... And then when she looks up, oh, cuts to black. Yeah, too good. That is a chef's kiss ending. I love endings like that. So yeah, the Rhaenyra Alicent face off, and the moment when Rhaenyra realizes, oh, Alicent is just crazy and I really gave her one last chance, but now you're done. Now you're getting torched. You and your family, Alicent, you guys are done. So at least she actually finally gets it now. Like, is it getting hot in here, or is she just about to cook? I think she's about to cook. But coming in at our number 3 spot, this has got to go to Daemon's arrival at Harrenhal. Definitely a huge standout moment. And then Daemon takes Harrenhal from this Simon Strong guy, who is the uncle to Lionel Strong, and I guess great uncle to Harwin Strong. You know, those guys that got burned down by Larys in season 1. And Daemon kind of asks him about Larys. That guy with the weird foot, like, we don't associate with him. Like, he is not our blood. He might have the last name Strong, but nah. He ain't strong like that. Don't get it twisted. And after he like disassociates himself from Larys, he kind of explains how the castle's in a state of disrepair and that it definitely needs some work done. And Daemon's like, all right, well, yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm gonna whip you guys into shape. And there's the autocorrect moment of your grace, I think is what you meant to say. And then they're like, oh, my apologies. I didn't mean to say that. Your grace, which I thought was kind of funny. Daemon just kind of messing with him. I did like this last little bit of dialogue right here. And a dragon will whip some people into shape, sharpen minds around here.
If you are successful, well, when you are successful.
Oh, when you are successful, yeah.
Then?
What? Oh.
We march on King's Landing and take the throne.
Yeah, obviously.
The throne?
In this delivery.
It's a big chair made of swords.
I mean, not every actor can deliver a line like that. Like, I can't have been the only one who was surprised they actually said something just kind of straightforward like that. It's a big chair made of swords. Like, I definitely think Matt Smith is like the only actor who could have pulled that line off. Does anyone feel the same way, that just that line is a little cheesy, but Matt Smith just delivered it in a way where it actually worked? So I just got to give props for that. But coming up next in our number 2 spot, I've got to give it to the other standout Daemon scene, which is Daemon's dream or hallucination or whatever that is. And then Daemon grabs his sword, Dark Sister, because someone's trying to break in apparently. I think he put that sword there purposefully to kind of have a lock on the door. And he's checking out, okay, what's going on? What's actually going down here? But then once you hear the voice singing, dude, I started getting mad chills, dude. And it's just like, wait, who is this singing? And then as soon as I saw the hair, I was like, no way. Is this young Rhaenyra?
Always coming and going on. Clean up afterwards.
And it's her. Young Rhaenyra sewing back on Jaehaerys' head. I was like, yo, this is some horror Halloween type vibes. What is this? I was not prepared for this. And dude, Matt Smith's acting right here, I gotta be honest, you can see the remorse. And then when he drops the sword and it flashes and now he's like in a new place, very cool, very trippy. It's almost like having like a Force vision or something. That is definitely gotta be the number 2 top moment of the episode without a doubt. But wrapping up our list and coming in at our number 1 top moment for the episode, I've got to give it to Moondancer and Baela chasing out Kristen Cole and the gang into the forest. Seeing Moondancer in action on the field of battle, like, okay. And I get it, you might be surprised, like, why are you putting Moondancer and Baela at number 1 and Daemon riding Caraxes at number 3? Well, Daemon just rode Caraxes and kind of just landed. Like, yeah, it was a cool POV shot, but there was no kind of element of like a battle situation. Like, the dragon's coming in hot, and for all they know, they're about to get torched, right? But yeah, I just think the music was very well done. The tension of them getting chased by Moondancer and being scared of getting torched, you know, crispy, getting a little extra crispy with it. I just thought that was just a very well done scene. It was a perfect kind of appetizer for the battles that are about to happen. So yeah, this was a quick, cool, great scene, such a tease, and that's exactly how you want to tease your audience. Just have it be quick and cool like that, and it just sets us up really nicely for the episodes to come. I have a theory that the next episode, episode 4, might be like the Spoils of War episode from season 7, episode 4, when Dany rode in on Drogon and actually had that big battle with the Lannister army, I think it could be very similar to that. I don't know, I might be a little high on that hopium, but it could easily just copy and paste the spoils of war kind of format of having that surprise dragon roll through and just start wrecking shop. And especially now that Rhaenyra had that talk with Alicent, I think just now is officially the time for the Dance of Dragons to begin, and I think it's starting next episode, and it's even rumored that that's what episode 4 is going to be called, the Dance of Dragons. We'll see, I don't know, but yeah, that is going to round it off for our top 5 list for episode 3 of season 2, The Burning Mill. We're doing these little recaps and top 5 moments for every single episode of House of the Dragon. I'm very hyped for episode 4. If you guys are too, make sure to leave a like and stay tuned for that breakdown that's coming up next week. Again, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Peace out.